I want to start by saying if you want something enough, you can make it happen no matter the odds against you. So it's important to have that determination in ourselves. Now, this video is going to be completely different to what I normally do. Well, perhaps it is, perhaps it's not. I mean, if it's going to be off the cusp like it normally is, but I think it's a bit wayward. I've just got a few things on my mind, not particularly big, important things. It's just not enough to make a separate videos, if you like. That's really what it is. It's just, like I say, I think it's more of an indulgence at this point. But yeah, just to put it into perspective there, where I said about, what life is what we make of it. And, something that may seem impossible literally can be possible. Now, of course, that could be any area of our life. But put that in context, I literally had to get some parcels sent. Now, of course, pressure's on ourselves, I can do it today, I can do it tomorrow. I like to get things done, especially like, for instance, if someone's bought something off you, I feel I take it serious. I don't like people waiting. I like to treat people how I want to be treated. That's how I treat people. So I wouldn't want to wait for something. So there's no excuse for laziness or any sort of excuse as to not do something. So I was returning a few things to Amazon. I had it all packed. I kept dilly-dallying, thinking, do I want to, or should I at least keep this to myself? Should I just keep this? Because I've documented the fact that I was building a computer. I was really wanted this PC because I've been wanting to rebuild one for a long time. It wasn't going to be like the as high end as I want it, and I was still thinking about keeping a couple of bits just to, progress is progress, whether you have it all or not. But I just think the more parts I have, the closer I am to finishing it. So it's psychological. But there was a few. I think one of the parts was faulty, and it just caused. But it wasn't worth. It's the whole issue with it. But anyway, I was getting that sent to Amazon. Obviously, the sooner I send that, the sooner I get my refund. That's important. But in the middle of that process, someone bought an item I had on eBay, and I thought, to be honest, it's middle of the night because I stay up late sometimes. It's crazy. But even like when I'm thinking about going to sleep, all of a sudden I'm parcel man here. I'm sorting out that package, putting that together, and then I'm like, well, okay. I'm already going to be delivering that. Why don't I just quickly get this done now? That person, like literally, they ordered it like late or early morning, late at night, and I could be dropping it off to the delivery center like as soon as early morning. That'd be a nice service, and that's good for them because I'm already doing it. That's the whole process. Anyway, that was the plan. And even then, I wasn't sure. I just want to put things in perspective here. I always try to do the right thing. Of course, there's going to be times when, that right thing may interfere with what we need. And I think there's importance to balance that. It's not about just giving in to everything. If you need something and it's genuinely needed for you, then of course, prioritize yourself. So there was an item that I sold, and it was a cooler for my laptop. So if anyone's seen any videos on my laptop, you might see that there's a nice, really fancy cooler underneath it where it lights up, it's LEDs. It looks nice together. And it cools the system, but it's how much is it a placebo effect is really the issue. It cools the chassis, so the plastic feels nice and cool. How the temperatures inside the laptop when I'm checking the monitoring it doesn't seem to. It helps it in periods when it's idle. Under load, no, but then is it helping it hit higher speeds? It's really complicated. And of course, like if anyone's seen my journey, I'm like money is a bit tight. But then it's like, is that an indulgence? Do I need that? So all these little things. So someone bought it. I paid about £110, £120. I think it's about a year ago. I can't remember exactly when. And it's just sold for like £80. And I thought, to be honest, you haven't lost a lot in the process here. Like over a period of time, you haven't lost a lot. But then it's like, do I need it? That was the question. Do I need it though? Was that a step too far? Because effectively, I was trying to sell my gaming laptop because then it will help me build the computer quicker. But in my back of my mind, I would love it if I could just keep the laptop and then build the computer. So maybe let's say it took me a few more months to build the computer, but I still could keep the laptop, that'd be perfect. But it might not be practical. But then if I kept the laptop, it wouldn't be needed as much. It would be more portable in, other use case scenarios. I wouldn't need that bulky fan. And I realized the other side to that, of course, is if I was to sell the laptop, it'd be easier for me to list the laptop cheaper if I can sell the cooler on its own, rather than bundle it together. Anyway, whole process with that. So someone's paid the money, and I'm sort of like questioning in my mind, I think I might need this. Like, I might have to refund them. there's a moral issue there with me. It's like, oh god damn, like, I think I might need it. Like, I might need it as much as they need it here. They've paid the money. If I refund the money, how long does it take to return to their bank account? So how hard is it then for them to repurchase? Do they have to wait 5 days or so? I don't know the process. That's not fair. And I'm thinking, do you really need it? I'm balancing everything in my head. It's not just about me when I make decisions. If it's 50-50, I tend to lean towards the buyer because that was the agreement. You've listed it, they've paid it, they expect the item. You should be sending that item. Unless there's an extenuating circumstance. Let's say the laptop's like cooking itself and it literally just shuts down all the time. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a limit. You couldn't, there's a limit here. But I don't feel that's the case. So anyway, I've packaged it, got it all ready, and I'm like, God damn, I'm going to have to set an alarm. I was up till ridiculous early to hours, let's say 5 a.m. or something stupid. And I was like, I'm just going to stay up until the delivery center opens, and then I'll sort some sleep patterns out. But I thought, no, you need a rest. We get even a few hours rest better than no rest. So alarm was going off, and I was just ignoring it because I'm so tired. I just thought, there will be time. Woke up again, and it was 9:50, and it shuts at 10 a.m. and it won't open again until tomorrow, the next day. Now, I don't like delivering to like stores or something where a postman will come and pick it up from them. I like to go straight I like to go direct to the delivery centers. That way it's straight in the system. There's no delays. I don't like that. You might go through the hassle of delivering it somewhere and they don't even get collected properly, and it's like the whole process, or it don't get collected till the evening and it still hasn't. No, I'd rather get it in the mail center, so it's straight in the distribution logistics and work. So I thought, bloody hell, I'm never going to make it today. I really want to get it done today. And it was 10 minutes. And I thought, I don't even know how tight they are with that time limit. Do they shut early? Is there going to be traffic? I don't know if I'm even going to make it in 10 minutes. And I'm not even up yet. So I didn't even give myself time to even prepare. I'm putting old clothes on. This isn't a time to go picking your clothes or deciding this would be best. This was like, I've got 10 minutes. That means you've got literally best part of a minute and a half to get your ass together and get out the door like within a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then move, like actually go. Can't have the car starting and running for a few seconds, to get it heat, to get the oil heat. You can't do anything. It's like literally just get in, get moving, move, hope there's no traffic. I must have got there. While I was talking to him at the desk, I was literally 10 o'clock. Like either 1 minute before 10 o'clock. It was like crazy. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you want something, you make it happen. And that was one of those where you wake up and it's absolutely impossible. Like, I was like, shit. Like, there's no way on earth you can do that. Not with the process to get there. No way. But I thought, no, I'm getting there. I'm doing what I set out to do. And of course, I got changed when I got home. But it's just the point. I didn't care. I just thought I've got to make this happen. Like aesthetics and things, what you look like, that doesn't matter. But anyway, I was really happy with myself after. I thought, well done you. I think I actually said it out loud to myself, to be honest. But like, well done you. That was great. And it's like, for me, it wasn't just the fact that you did that. For me, it was just the symbolism of it all. Going above and beyond all the time, never down and out. I never allow anything to defeat me, even if the odds are against me. And it was more like, it was things like, that's not why I did it. I did it because I felt compelled to do it, and I wanted, obviously I want my refund sooner, but also I want that person to have the item as soon as possible. And of course, the longer I hold an item, the more I could change my mind. Like, I could package it, I could do all that, and then I could just literally, I could cancel it. I could just unbox it and just say refund. So it's best just to get things done. But anyway, that was just one example there. I just thought that was interesting. That was an interesting moment. It annoyed me because, to be honest, I had it planned before I went to sleep that, yeah, I'll get that done. There's a 2-hour window because it's open between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. I like to just get there early before everybody else gets there, really, although it doesn't always work. Sometimes people are the same as me, get there dead on the moment when it opens. But when I arrived, there was cones outside. I don't normally have cones, and I've never been there when it's shutting. And it's annoying because they used to stay open longer, and they used to open multiple times throughout the day, and now it's just a nightmare. But yeah. Anyway, that was done. Then I sold So this sold, weirdly enough. So I've sold that, and it's like, okay, a few items have gone back, which will help me financially for sure. Then my iPod sold. Well, no, it didn't sell. Someone made an offer. And at the same time, my other items sold actually in the middle of the night. My PlayStation 3 sold. So I'm trying to sell a PS3 as well because, to be honest, I don't use it. Since I got a PS5, I've not used it. I've collected a lot of games that are exclusives. I consider like some of them are slightly rare, and I think there's value to it. And it's sold for about £200. I've got like 40 odd games. This isn't like just one little collection. It's a big collection of games. And I thought to myself, like, I wanted more than that. I just kept getting to the point where it's just sitting around. So I kept dropping the price. But I was like, I don't want £200. Like, I wouldn't, it's not that I would decline a sale because I didn't get what I want. Because sometimes I have to do that in my head. Is it worth declining something over £20? Like, it's not worth missing a sale for 20 quid. When you put it in perspective, you can't, there's no point going mental. But I thought, what do I want? Like, really, I would rather have about 230 quid. I think that's fair. Really, I'd even say more, but you've got to find balance between what someone would pay and what I think's fair. I think it's worth more, but you know. So anyway, the person bought it, but then straight away it had signed that the person cancelled. They want to cancel it. I just thought, well, that's risky. If I send it, it's going to be hassle, isn't it? So I might as well just say, get it. And it gave me the opportunity then to relist it at the price I want. So let's say they've just cancelled it. They've just said they've made a mistake. They don't want it or something. But let's say they did it because they just wanted to change payment method. They'd probably be fuming if they went back and looked and saw it went from £199 to £229. Because as soon as I cancelled it, I relisted it at the price I want. Anyway, that's that item. But then, like I said, my iPod sold. That caused me a real conflict, the iPod, because sometimes it sits around, I don't use it for a while. Other times when I use it and it gives me nostalgia, and then I get back in love with the fact of having something like music that you own, and I love that. And I think reality is there's a battle at the moment between like modern technology and there's the physical media and owning and things and stuff like that, because it's like this huge subscription model at the moment, but you're just constantly hemorrhaging money, and it's really frustrating. Like, for instance, most of us are creatures of habit. Now, some people maybe they do like playlists and they like other like new music, but that's what a radio is for. The reality is a lot of us have got caught up in this subscription model for everything we consume, whether it's video games, whether it's movies, TV shows, whether it's music, but it adds up. And I just find music's one of the most frustrating ones for me personally, because often it's music I listen to is music I already have somewhere else. But it's the convenience of it, where it's streamed to you, But it's like you're paying for that luxury that's an unnecessary indulgence. I don't really go looking for too much new music. I usually hear it somewhere else and I look for it. That's really how I go about things. And I've got a massive collection on my iPod. So it was a conflict because, like I say, sometimes I sell things and I regret it. Not all the time, but almost like sometimes you're going to regret it. If you actually look at the image we've got here, actually, weirdly enough, that black thing above my books is my dock for my speaker for my iPod. Oh, it's connected at the mini iPod, but yeah, so it goes on there and you can use it as a speaker. I've also got it's connected to it as well. God damn it! But anyway, I've got a Bluetooth adapter on my iPod. And I can have these headphones. I could use my AirPod Pro 2, and I can have a wired headset. I've actually got original wired Apple earbuds. So I've got wired Apple earbuds. I've got Apple AirPod Pro 2, and I've got a Sony XM4 noise cancelling headset. Which all have different ranges. These have big, deeper bass. These I think are the most balanced. And then you've got the convenience of wired because it doesn't need any charging or anything. But anyway, I like using all different headsets with it, really, to be totally honest. And like I said, it's portable and it's convenient. But I also like the fact that it's distraction free. When I'm listening to music and I'm scrolling on the little wheel and I'm going through my library of music and I'm making playlists, or I'm just going from one artist to another and I'm just bouncing around the place. It's effortless to bounce around my library, and it's a huge library with so many different genres. And I enjoy that, and it's distraction free. Like, I don't have anything else to worry about in that moment. It's like my phone. The phones are full of distractions, But really, one of the things I just noticed was how quicker it was for me to transition between music. Like, for instance, if I want to listen, like if I'm on an app It's usually who artists they recommend or songs they recommend. And it's not really easy access to target artists that I'm familiar with or like of different genres. For instance, let's say this is going to be off the cusp of thinking. Let's say you listen to Avril Lavigne. You listen to Avril Lavigne. Maybe it'll come up with some other punk, maybe pop artists as a recommendation and songs like that. That's what it'll do. But let's say your taste is all over the place, like mine is. I like all different music. So let's say you're thinking, oh, I might go and listen to Eminem, but you're not thinking of it because it's not, it's not something that's shown to you on the thing. And it's not necessarily a playlist you would specifically make. But to put it in context, I was using my just now, and I was listening to Eminem. I don't always listen to Eminem, but sometimes I do, and I love his lyrics, like a lyrical genius. I actually think he's a musical prophet. Personally, I think he helps. If you actually look at certain people in the world, I think they help society, but in a very unique way. I think Eminem's done it in such an incredible way that showing depravity and all those things, and the fact that he's overcome that, and I think he's misunderstood to a degree. But yeah, I think he's a bit of a genius myself. So you've got that, but then I'm like shuffling all over the place. I'm even doing like boy bands. I'm doing Cyndi Lauper. I'm doing Tina Turner. But it's like the fact that it's there, and I've even City High. People probably don't even know most people nowadays probably don't even know who City High are, and I love City High. And they were like, what's the band called? See, because I prefer them to that. Black Eyed Peas. They were around about the same time as Black Eyed Peas, but Black Eyed Peas are the ones that become popular and famous, whereas I felt City High were better. God knows what happened to them, but I love their album I got when they launched, and I still like that album now. And I like to test that with the bass and things. And I found with the iPod Classic, I only just figured it out, turn the equalizer off, and the sound quality is so much better. And I was like, oh my God. Because I like bass and it's annoying, but it just crackles the bass a lot. The sound, the music gets split, it gets distorted. And so sometimes if I'm listening to a bassy song, it just ruins it. And that's when I start thinking, I might sell the iPod then, because this is doing me head in. I don't have that with the Apple, with the streaming. But if I turning the equalizer off, it balanced it out and there's no crackling. And that's why I was testing all the songs. And I was like, this is great. Like, what's great? Another part that's great is I'd never have to pay for the music I already own. If I want to listen to Eminem, I'll just listen to Eminem. If I want to listen to Tina Turner, I'll listen to Tina Turner. If I want to listen to Backstreet Boys, I'll listen to Backstreet Boys. This goes on because I've got most genres. My musical taste is out of control. Like, I like so much music, and it's just so much from since I had the iPod. I bought it day one, 2009. I've had different iPods before then. I've had music I've probably been backing up since the late 1990s, and it's a whole legacy on this thing. And personally, when I think about it, I think I could see me using this for the rest of my life, to be totally honest. But it's not just the fact that it's saving you money on subscriptions. It's like, I like the nostalgia of it myself. I like having a collection on me at all times that is my list of music. And I think there's something that's getting missed personally through streaming. It got me thinking about the fact that iTunes, Apple used to. I didn't used to do it that way because it was too expensive. I never saw the point. But you used to be able to buy MP3 albums for like £9.99 and individual songs. I don't know how, I can't find it. I don't know how they do it now. I did a little Google and apparently they do it on Macs, but it's like, that's not the point, is it? That's no use. So I prefer just to buy the CD and then extract the music from the CD. So now you've got a physical copy on CD and you've also got a digital copy for your iPod, your computer, whatever you want to do with it. Of course, there's other ways to get music as well. If it's something maybe it's a bit more, less of a priority, you can obviously get music off YouTube and things like that. But the point is, you're not hemorrhaging money. And my concern at the moment is the price of subscriptions constantly goes up. So you might be comfortable with it now, but who's to say you're going to be comfortable in a year, 5 years, 10 years when it's just constantly hemorrhaging? There'll be a day when it's £20, £30 a month. They'll try and add other features or other memberships to tie it together, and it's just constant. And it's like, I don't want to keep spending every month for music. I already have the music, so why am I paying it? So I've currently got 3 months Apple Music for free because I've got a new iPhone, and if you go on the subscription thing, it offers you it for free. And I've bounced around the free trials of Amazon Music and Spotify in the past, but I think once Apple's finished, I'm not bothering anymore. I think that's what I've decided. I've got Echo devices around my home, and they sound good when you play for them. But in all honesty, I haven't used them for a while. I don't really use them. I'm more interested in using my buds, and like I said, I've got the speaker system there, and I can always plug if I want to. I've got a home speakers, with CD player and mini disc and all sorts, and I could just plug my iPod into that if I want to, and it'll play it through a bit like a better speaker system around if I want to listen to music at home that way. So at home, I've got different ways to consume my iPod or CDs. Away from home, I've got the iPod anyway, and it can distribute it through wired connection, or I can take my AirPod Pros, or I can use these headphones. So what's the other service giving me that can't? Maybe the audio is slightly upgraded. Maybe it's higher quality, perhaps. Access to on-demand music, so stuff that maybe I don't already have access to. Maybe new music, but it's in such a convoluted way. I don't think it's even worth it. So personally, I don't. It's not for me. It's not worth it. So then I think someone's offered me a certain amount of money. I put it about £130. Now, bear in mind the dongle's probably worth 15 quid for the Bluetooth. The speaker, they're probably, I don't know what that costs, but let's say it's worth 40 quid. But it probably is, to be honest, because there's not that many speakers out there with the docking feature, and the quality's good. And it's got a video screen. It's pretty cool. So anyway, they've offered. I put up £130, but realistically, I'd obviously want more. But you have to be realistic in this day and age. So someone's offered £110. Now they probably only did it because offer was on, and I didn't realise I had offers on. So I was like, crap. But good figures, it gives me a chance to decline it. So I've been in two minds. £110 for something. If it's just going to sit in a drawer, £110 a good deal. If you're going to use it, £110 not so much, because I was working it. I'm not working it out specifically, but I couldn't help but think about 8 months worth of Apple Music is the same as owning an iPod for life. Like, you've got music for life in your pocket, or you can have Apple Music for 8 months worth, and you'll probably use it for forever, and it'll keep costing you. Now there might be other MP3 players, and that's what I was thinking. There'll be other devices where you can do similar things, but in my opinion, the iPod Classic is the ultimate MP3 player. It can literally play videos as well. I love how fast it is to switch between music and do things, and I've had it since day one. So I was just thinking that out of all the items I sold, like I've sold items, I've sold computers, I've sold all sorts. It's almost like I know deep down, if I sell the iPod, even if I make peace of it now, there'll be a day. There'll be a day, and I know there will, when I'll go, I wish I hadn't sold that. I wish I hadn't sold that. And yeah, you're stupid selling it, and it will never be replaced. Of course, you could buy another one, but then that's buying a used one off someone else when I had my one brand new. Like, I've had mine since then. It's worked all the time since. I love my iPod, but sometimes I just don't use it. But that's only because the streaming services have kind of got in the way. It's ruined my relationship, my iPod. Start getting really bitter and twisted about streaming. But no, I do like having my iPod. And the fact that it has a little video screen as well. I've been converting some movies from DVD Blu-ray and been making digital files on my computer. I own the films. It's not like I'm doing anything. I wouldn't consider it untoward. I'm only backing up my own collection. But then I can also convert those same files to fit the iPod. So now all of a sudden you've got this media device that fits in your pocket, and it still has the streaming. It's like in terms of your Bluetooth and things, if you want to. And it's not it's distraction free, so you've got no alerts coming up all the time and things. The battery absolutely lasts ages, which surprises me. Even now, it absolutely lasts ages. So of course, me listening to music isn't draining my phone battery either, and it's just completely separate. I actually really love it, and it's like, but sometimes I don't use it. But then I think that's the same with anything you own. You don't have to use it all the time. Put it into perspective here, value. Now, of course, £100. You think, I could do with £110, £100 now. That'd be nice. But often the things you buy with that money are going to be forgotten in a few months or even weeks. What depends what you spend it on or what you need. Put in perspective here. Let's say we've got a PS5 controller. That's £60. Is iPod better than the PS5 controller? Obviously you could argue for £110, you're probably getting that and then something else. I don't know. But the point is, it's not the same, is it? This is only useful while that generation of console will grow old at some point, or it's just a controller, whatever. iPod's like it's not just what the device is, even though it's quite iconic. Like, I don't think it'll ever happen, but let's say Apple went insolvent one day, because companies come and go. You never know. There would then be a day in the future. I'm not saying that would happen. It seems impossible, but then some things happen, don't they? Apple devices that were iconic of its period would then go up in value like crazy, wouldn't they? And I think an iPod Classic in that event would be freaking well worth a fortune one day because it is iconic of the MP3 era. And I don't think people appreciate it quite yet, but maybe in the future they will. And if they do, the value is going to go through the roof. I would think. Um, but I expect it to go through the roof by now. But then I'm thinking if it's not about what, but effectively, it's not what people value it at. It's like, what do you value it? And I love it. I just go through periods where maybe I'm not listening to it so much because there's other ways to consume music. That's the problem. So anyway, it has caused me a bit of a division though, because I do need, like, if anyone's followed my journey, my money's been so tight and it's like money I could do with. But I don't like to make decisions in the middle of adversity that I'll perhaps regret later just because times were tough. It's like sometimes it's worth just suffering through the tough times and not end up having to live with a regret just because you felt you had no other choice. You know, I don't do things like that. I can cope with adversity, it's fine, but I won't allow myself to suffer needlessly um, just because of a situation, you know. So it's tough decision because I'm not always using it. But then when I do, I think it's great. Like, if I just put it in perspective here, I've got all this music, like, and that's only what's there now. I mean, I intend to still go through a lot of my music collection. I've got so many CDs still that I haven't even converted yet. And I still got to sort it out. And then I've got to go through some of these as well because sometimes the music crosses a little bit. It makes too many genres. I want to narrow it down a bit. Um, but this is literally what's on my iPod. And you just shuffle around on the wheel. It's so useful. And it's like the convenience of it, you know? It's so diverse, the music. Mental. Um, it does come down to a question of how often do you use it, though. So, yeah, I often find myself split in two minds because there's part of me that thinks, is it just going to be stuck in a drawer? Are you going to use it often enough to validate to use it? Because like the other side to that, of course, is as much as like we think, oh, streaming's a nightmare. It is convenient. It's just an unknown. It's an uncertainty, isn't it? Because we don't know the price models. How much is it going to evolve in the future? Because it'd be a bit sad if the price of subscription was to go through the roof, and now your only way to consume music is through that. You have no choice. That's not a good place to be, is it? But the way I see it is money come and go. Money comes and goes. And I just think at the moment, I don't think the iPod right now, for some weird reason, I don't think it's appreciated as much as it should be. So the value isn't quite there, at least in the UK. I thought it'd be worth a lot more than it is, and I just thought that's madness. It's not much more than, I don't know, just something cheap. £100 don't get you a lot, does it? I mean, if you think about items in general, that's um that's quite madness, to be honest. Um, but yeah, so I've got a decision to make. It says one new offer, so I've got an offer to respond to, and it's literally 110. So buyer's offer is 110. You'll receive £105. So you're only going to get £105. But it's not even just the iPod. It's the iPod, it's the dongle for the Bluetooth, and it's the speaker system. So I'm thinking to myself, they think it's 110. What do they think? It's £20 for the speaker and then maybe £10 for the Bluetooth adapter. And then that means it's about £80 for the iPod. So I mean, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's like when you think about it, it's a massive iPod, 160 gigabyte. It's got so much storage. It's outrageous. And then they've got access to all that storage and all those music and all that. And it's a nice purchase for them. But then it's like, from my point of view, it's a loss. But then my only debate in my mind is whether I would use it enough at the moment. Because like, we go through phases, don't we? Like, for instance, I've had it since 2009. That's the thing. It's lasted me this long. But it's a bit like my vinyl. I was collecting records, like vinyl records. I got fed up collecting them. I just think they're too expensive. They're too expensive to keep indulging with, I think, personally. So I was thinking of selling it, but it's not that easy to sell. So sometimes you get stuck with things. Um, it really depends where you consume your music, I think, doesn't it? Because, like, for instance, where I've got my MP3s and my music stored, you can always listen to it on your computer anyway. There's other ways to distribute the music. I have got CDs. So I like my CD player. So if you think of it that way, everywhere I've got music at home, I have CD players in wherever I need to play it, really. And I have digital files on my computer, and in my car, I have a CD player. So then the question, it does go full circle as to whether an iPod Classic is needed. Is an iPod even needed? I don't know. But anyway, it's decisions I've got to make. But yeah, I was going to press cancel it, but even I'm sort of like on the fence now because I just don't know what to do. Because sometimes what it is, sometimes I like to downsize. I don't like having too much stuff a lot of the time. So sometimes I have things and then it's not I've lost interest in it. I don't like having too much. You can get clutter. I don't like clutter. So like, for instance, if I buy something, if it's technology related, like if it's a game console or something, then for me, usually it depends how many things I have, but usually I've got enough. So if something new comes in, I'm not expecting something to go, but very soon after something likely goes because I don't like to have too much. You can't consume it all. So I'll have to have a little bit deeper think. I was going to click cancel while I do the video, but I'm still on the fence at the moment. I don't think it's enough money. But then, like I said, over the sake of like £20 or so, does it matter? Like, the features are good. Like, I can watch films on it. Is it essential for you to watch the movies on it? Having that whole music collection, though, has been incredible. But again, how much do I use it? Is that it's got the docking speaker, but again, often that docking speaker just sits there not being used. And the fact that it has Bluetooth's great, but the Bluetooth dongle's a bit bulky. I've got a little bit of a thing to do, I think.